Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. Kakarot would have made 4 multiverses shudder. Kakarot's power would have been so much that the 4 kings had all felt the extremely impressive power. At that moment, Lucio was going with this. Even though you are one of us, you must show respect to your superiors. Kakarot put on a serious look, and his imposing red eyes made him look like a terrible guy. If I before didn't have this great power, I was able to almost kill you. Don't speak to me in that tone again, or next time there won't even be ashes of you left. Kakarot released an even more surprising pressure, which would make Lucio drop to his knees, and he wouldn't breathe. Even Akio would be a little nervous, however a moment later he would laugh out loud. I can tell that your power is extremely incredible. You're almost at my level. If I didn't trust the demonic source, I would kill you right now. Now I don't think he's capable of defeating me, but don't worry, my power is only to protect you, Akio-sama. This guy is the god of death that I told you I had faced. His power surpasses even Lucio. If you cure him, we'll have a great ally. Don't ever refer to me again. Lucio did not finish his sentence since Kakarot would return to observe him with a murderous look. I don't give third chances next time. I'll kill you! Akio would be a little surprised because according to Kakarot, he already had enough power to defeat him. Returning to Multiverse 7, Bardock was talking with the Queen of Everything Tawa. What are we supposed to do now? We don't have enough power to defeat Kakarot. We must go as fast as possible with the King of Everything of this multiverse, and since he is the only capable being of facing the Saiyan Kakarot and Akio. Okay, we'll go with you. Everyone present would leave the place, flying at a great speed to Multiverse 1. Return to the Palace of All Akio, he would throw Tsukuyomi into the demonic source, which would also raise his power in an amazing way. His power would have elevated inordinately. However, it was still below the power of Kakarot. Why didn't my power rise higher? I'm a god. How is it possible that the source has given a greater power to a mere Saiyan? The power of the source is not giving you unlimited power. All it does is unlock your hidden power. In other words, it speeds up that process, which means that in a few years, Kakarot's going to get that monstrous power. Tsukuyomi would be a little annoyed and scared at the same time, but the voice of his king would take them out of their thoughts. We are really. Today, we'll stop being Multiverse 2. I hope you're ready to face the multiverse. Everyone would nod. The King of Everything with the dimensional portal would reach Multiverse 1 in a few seconds. When he arrived, a very beautiful girl was at the door, like the High Priestess. Long time no see, Naomi. I hope you're both ready since today, his reign ends here. That will be impossible for you. None of you have enough power to face the powerful King of Everything, Ryoma. I want to see that. Get out of there, Ryoma! Come and show your face! At that moment, a pressure would fall all over that place. The powerful Ryoma was getting closer, and with just his pressure, everyone present would know that he was a being of great power. Long time no see here. Why don't you come to my castle and have a tea? Stop playing games, damn! We're here to be the most powerful beings in the multiverse, and this time, we'll succeed. You continue with what you did 1,500 years ago. You don't have enough power to defeat me. It's not your fault that the Creator God created me with so much power. If you don't come in a good way, better get out of my multiverse before I give you one beating. That's what annoys me about you, damn. You underestimate us. You think that we're not a match for you. However, at that precise moment, Akio would launch himself against Ryoma, starting a great battle, which seemed even. Tsukuyomi, having not raised his power as much, had a hard time keeping up with them. It's amazing how Akio-sama is at the level of that King of Everything. No, that guy will kill Akio, because he's putting pressure on him with his defense. The more Akio-sama attacks, the more ki wears out, while that guy's ki hasn't diminished at all. Lucio at the moment would attack Naomi. However, with a few blows, she would leave him on the verge of death and very badly injured. The most powerful demon in the multiverse, too, was defeated in approximately 30 seconds. You're nothing more than simple fans. You better go before you die. You're not being serious. You haven't tested my power yet. Kakarot would launch into an attack, beginning to exchange a few blows with the priestess. Returning to the confrontation of Akio and Ryoma, both seemed evenly matched. However, Akio was not being able to dodge a furtive blow which would send him to the ground. Ryoma would notice that his wife was facing a Saiyan and had already defeated a demon. This won't end well for you here. You've already lost one of your allies. They won't be able to do anything against me. I hope that woman was power enough to face Kakarot, or else she'll inevitably die. Ha 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 ha! Akio, you better than anyone know the overwhelming power of Naomi. She will not be defeated by a simp. At that moment, Naomi would pass through the middle of both of them. Naomi had been sent flying with a strong blow, drawing back some blood from her. Kakarot was approaching at incredible speed to continue her attack. However, Ryoma would teleport, and with a serious look, I would tell him, "If you hit Naomi again, this time I'll end your miserable life." Thanks, Kakarot. You were able to see this damn Furious, the king of everything who doesn't care. He has a weakness, and it's that damn. Kakarot, kill her. Ryoma, at that precise moment, would throw a sphere of ki into Akio's heart, where before it hits, Kakarot would stand in front of him receiving the attack. However, it would cost nothing to regenerate his body. Apparently, I was about to die, and I wasn't able to realize it. Thanks, Kakarot. You are much more powerful than Akio. Why do you hold back and not use all your power? Don't say stupid things, as a Saiyan will make you more powerful than a king of everything. So you realized I didn't use all my power because if my power exceeds his, I don't want him to feel bad. So he affirms it. Apparently, he's not using all his power. This is the worst humiliation of my life. Kakarot, if you're more powerful than me, it's fine. Release all your power and finish off that dam. As you order, Akio-sama. Kakarot expelled all the power of him accumulated from him. That's right, Kakarot's power was much more than even the mighty king of everything of the Multiverse 1 began to smile. Ha 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 ha! This is what I wanted as a battle, where I can use all my power. Our battle will be legendary! Ghostly steps! Ryoma would move at a speed that even disappeared for Akio and Tsuyokomi. However, everyone was surprised when Kakarot would say, "Ghostly steps!" So by just seeing me using it once you're able to use it, you are a really powerful being. Both subjects would begin to exchange blows at an incredible speed, because not even Naomi could clearly see what was happening. Meanwhile, with Toa and the others, Toa would stop halfway. It's too late! Ryoma's fighting with another king altogether, but he doesn't know who he is, because he's not Akio's ki and Zeno-sama's dead. Cirrus, that dark power, is that our own son? That's right, Bardock. His power is even greater than that of the god of death. No, this can't be happening. Ryoma's fighting against another king. No matter what ki my son has, I'll always recognize him. Returning to the battle, no warrior could be seen. However, at that moment, they would both appear. Both were with their clothes a bit worn. However, Naomi would be surprised. Is that blood? The most powerful king has shed blood. I can't believe it. You're a worthy opponent, but you still need much more power if you want to defeat me. I say the same. At that moment, they began to exchange blows again. How is it possible for two guys to have such fighting power, if not even beings of our level are capable of observing them? Someone who logically was not Tsuyokomi and is inside his body would say, obviously beings like you can't see anything. Since there are only our containers, they're simple dregs. The battle would continue for a few moments while they exchanged blows. Ryoma would communicate with his Saiyan telepathically. Saiyan, the attack I launched at Akio, I can assure you that it was not to kill him, but to get that evil presence out of him. The hatred that Akio has for me is not normal, so a being is manipulating him. I know you don't believe me, but you must trust me. I believe you, since there are times when Akio-sama doesn't seem to be the same. So what do you have in mind for those guys to show their faces? Both subjects continued to impact their fists. However, they would appear with their ki very worn, and both with holes in their chest that they have been mortally wounded. Naomi was going to help Ryoma, however she would listen in her mind. Don't worry, this Saiyan and I are pretending. We still have all our energies. Pretend what? Obviously, he's the enemy. No, Akio, and that god named Zeno-sama is just being manipulated by an even more powerful existence.
Okay, Livier, I trust you, but please don't die.
Akio would approach, both realizing that they were both on the brink of death. Apparently, you're also about to die, Kakarot, but thanks for leaving this damn me like this. Die for me, Kakarot. I'll be the one to give him the final blow. At that moment, Akio would begin to charge a very powerful ki sphere, with which he had planned to end Akio's life. At that moment, when he was about to launch his attack, his power would vanish, lightning falling all over the place. What's wrong with me? Does my body hurt a lot? Akio would lose consciousness due to such monstrous power. Of course, it hurts, damn. We have gone through approximately 1,500 years. We almost joined, but thank you. I'll be the one to give you the final blow and receive the blessings of the murderous king. The same would happen with Zeno-sama. That's right, Achi had abruptly separated from him, also being knocked out. At that moment in which both charged a large sphere of ki and threw it at him, Kakarot and Ryoma would dodge it and both would heal the wound of his body. So you're the ones behind all this. I'll kill you. Because of this miserable fault, Akio-sama always had a full life of resentment and hatred. I'll exterminate them. Kakarot and Akio would raise all the power of him, making some of the closest omniverses shake. Without my original body, I could defeat you. Now you'll be crushed, or rather between the two of us, we'll crush them. Achi and Rek would also release a sinister power, making everything around them tremble. The two gods of death that were in the body of Zeno-sama and Eiko finally had given the face. That's right, both to realize that Kakarot and the most powerful god Ryoma to be the ones to give the coup de grace.
I can't believe it! Really, what Ryo-sama said was the right thing to do. Two beings with much more power than the kings themselves were in his body. I can't forgive them either. Because of them, Akio-sama always sought revenge. Now, I'll annihilate them.
I want to see you try it, dirty mortal.
Goku at that moment would throw himself against Akachi, while Ryoma would begin to exchange blows with Riek. The battle seemed very even. However, the battle of that four subjects released was incredible. At that moment, Akio managed to regain consciousness and he was furious to know that he was used. I swear I'll kill you, damn it! Akio would start to charge a great energy attack with the intention of throwing it to the beings in front of him. However, at that precise moment, Naomi would approach him. Stop, Akio! With the power you have, you'll only make a fool of yourself. Your power's far away from Ryoma-sama and that Saiyan named Kakarot.
Don't tell me what to do, you were used by one of them.
I know how you must feel, but you better get your powers back so you can be more use. I'll help you. At that moment, Naomi would create a large sphere of energy, which would enclose Roma, making him recover his powers little by little. That's right, in that energy field, you could feel a quality energy flowing all around him. Meanwhile, with Bardock and Cyrus, both of them were traveling to the multisphere. Both were traveling to Multiverse 1 with the Queen of Everything, Tawa. However, before reaching the Palace of the Kingdom of Everything, a strong explosion would blow everything to pieces. That's right, the power of one of his fists had made this palace of the most powerful king of everything explode into pieces. That is amazing! Never in the history of the 6 multiverses had there never been a fight like this before.
That power you feel is Kakarot's. I can't be wrong. He has immense power. He has divine blood and Saiyan blood in his veins.
It's not the time to be proud of Kakarot. It's true that he has immense power, but if he becomes evil, he'll finish us all off. I don't think so. Since the Ryoma and Kakarot are teaming up, as far as I can tell, they are fighting with 2 other beings of great power. That's the key of my dear brother Zeno-sama. Indeed, it seems that 2 guys were staying in the body of the so-called Angel of Death, Zeno-sama and Akio.
That means that the real enemies are those 2 guys that my son Kakarot's fighting with, and the other guy named Roma.
That's right! You're correct!
Back to the battle, the 4 beings were fighting all over the outer space.
However, the gods of death seemed to have the advantage in the battle. Damn, that damn worm's too fast. I never thought anyone could surpass my divine ghostly steps. What happened, Ryoma? Did you run out of energy? I have plenty of energy, but you better run away, because with that speed, I doubt anyone will be able to catch up with you. Your provocations don't work with me, so that'll be useless. Damn it. If he doesn't lose control, I won't have any chance. Since his speed overwhelms me, I have no choice but to give it my all. Ryoma would attack again with much more speed than before, but nothing was effective. Meanwhile, with the combat between Kakarot and Akachi, Goku, no matter how many hits he gave him, Akachi's armor received all the damage without any problem. If this continues like this, I'll lose. It doesn't matter that I have accelerated healing. It's finishing me off little by little. Kakarot and Akachi would continue their battle for a few more moments. At one point in the battle, Kakarot and Ryoma were cornered and both collided back to back. Are you having trouble with your battle, Ryoma? I should be asking you. I'm the king of all that is most powerful. There's no rival worthy of my power. With me, you don't have to pretend. I see how that guy with his speed's putting you in trouble. Do you think we could change opponents? Do you think you could finish the subject that even I wasn't able to beat? Are you underestimating my power, you fucking maggot? Of course not, because I respect your power, and I know that only you could finish with that armor. I tell you that your physical power is far superior than mine. I don't know what your plan is, but I take your word for it. At that moment, both had changed opponents. That's right, Goku would start fighting with Reik and Akachi with Ryoma. This is great, since ending your life means that we have won, since the only thing we need is for the most powerful god to fall. Ryoma would, at that instant, deliver a strong blow, which, with its first impact, was not able to do anything to the armor. I'll tell you the same thing I told that imbecile ape. Your blows are not capable of doing any scratch to my armor, so you better resign yourself. Akachi would direct a blow at him, which Ryoma would easily dodge and give him a second blow in the same place, making a piece of metal fall to the ground. Kakarot, observing this, would say to himself, I knew it! In physical strength, Ryoma surpasses me. Now I must do my part of the deal, and I must be able to fight this guy with my speed to the max. Reik at that moment would begin to hit Kakarot, who was doing everything possible to defend himself, but it was useless. That's right, the power of his enemy did not surpass him. Moreover, his blows were much weaker than those of Tsuyokomi, but his speed was so much that he managed to cause damage by hitting him in the same place hundreds of times. Kakarot at that moment would manage to dodge a blow from Reik. I already let you hit me too much. Don't you think it's my turn to attack? Even if you want to attack, you won't be able to hit me. No one's been able to do it. Kakarot at that moment would create a few clones, making them move all over that place. Kakarot at that moment began to take his body beyond its limits. That's right, the power of Kakarot emanated was so much that it would even make everyone present tremble. At that moment, Tawa would arrive with all the others to a part of the universe where Akio was with Naomi. Kakarot would observe again, being able to recognize Cirrus and Bardock. So the clown Daishinkan was able to bring them to life. I owe him one. My parents are watching me. I'm forbidden to lose. You can do it. We trust you, son. Kakarot, with the words of his parents, his powers grew in an even more amazing way, leaving Reik surprised by the power he was releasing. If you increase your power like this, you'll never be able to hit me. You'll be so heavy that you won't even be able to move because of the excess energy that your whole body supports. Don't think I'm just an amateur. You're fighting someone who knows all the weak points of your body. So this will be the end of you. Kakarot, as if it were lightning speed, moved at an impressive speed, which Reik was the only one able to see. But in spite of that, he was not able to dodge a strong blow that had been directed towards his whole face. That's right, the blow had been so powerful that he had even sent him flying a few meters backwards. Kakarot, without giving the time to recover, began to massacre Rake. With each blow, felt that this guy was taking his life. Since Kakarot's power was much greater than his, at that moment Rake was able to dodge one of his blows and take some of the distance to recover.
You bastard! You almost killed me! I swear I'll annihilate you, you demonic flash!
Rake's speed had tripled, giving a beating to Kakarot. Meanwhile, with the Battle of Ryoma and Akio, Ryoma had been able to destroy all his armor, and this time, at the moment of impact with his fists, he was able doing a great damage. However, Akio at that moment would give a big laugh that would resonate throughout the empty universe.
Ha 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 ha! You weren't able to defeat me in time. My brother now uses the demonic flash. He'll defeat that Saiyan in the blink of an eye.
I doubt it very much. He was the only one who came up with his plan, so I'm sure he won't die as a pathetic warrior. And above all, his parents are in this place. Ryoma was still beating Akio, who was no longer able to defend himself. Meanwhile, with Rake and Kakarot, Kakarot had been left on the verge of death, because Rake's speed had increased so much that even Kakarot was not able to see anything. If you remember the warrior to hit me, even if you were to die here, I'll always remember you. Rake would throw himself against Kakarot, piercing him with a single blow. That moment, a scream would sound throughout the place, leaving Ryoma just as surprised.
Kakarot! No! Seriously, I apologize for getting you into this trouble. I swear I'll give my life so that your sacrifice will not be forgotten.
Now that I have finished with this insect, the next ones would be you. But first, I'll help my brother to finish the life of that damn scum before he causes more problems. At that moment, Rake would try to pull out his arm out of Kakarot's body. It'd be impossible. That's right, Kakarot's body had imprisoned Rake's arm. I knew that dodging that last blow would be impossible, so I decided to take it. I knew you didn't have the power to end my life. Your power is inferior to mine. This can't be happening. I pierced your heart. Every being dies when its heart's destroyed. What the hell are you? I am a divine Saiyan who has the fortune of possessing 3 hearts. Rake would be surprised to hear that Kakarot said. At that moment, Kakarot would charge a big hit. Let's see if you can resist one of my blows at maximum power. Kakarot would deliver his last blow successfully, taking Rake's life at that very moment. Kakarot would fall along with the others. It seems that Ryoma is about to finish with that other nuisance. Ryoma at that instant would give him a fury of blows, and before Akachi can recover, he would throw a large sphere of destructive energy at him, reducing him to mere atoms. However, when Ryoma was about to get to everyone else, a slingshot of energy would pierce Ryoma's chest. What the hell? Where the hell did this attack come from? At that moment, 2 more beings would appear from a portal. But unlike Akachi and Rake, the power of these 2 subjects was overwhelming. So much so that it would cut off the breath of all the beings that were there in that place. Kakarot at that moment would enclose everyone in a sphere of energy. Kakarot, what are you supposed to do? The most powerful king must not fall in battle. Take care of yourselves. Kakarot would send them flying with a special technique, and at that moment, he would begin to increase his power in a surprising way. Accessing the infinite Super Saiyan, doling all the ki of his friends. What do you say we see who gets to hell faster? Kakarot had accessed Super Saiyan Infinity, while his friends were flying all over the universe at an astonishing speed.
Damn it! I'm not able to help my little Kakarot.
You wouldn't be able to do anything. The power of those guys don't compare to the other 2 we fought. But I can't believe the power that guy was hiding. He even surpassed you, Ryoma-sama. That's the power with which our little Kakarot was born. But we can't leave him alone. They're 2 against 1. Those guys will kill him one way or another. We have to go back. I don't plan to leave Kakarot alone. However, Akio, at that moment, he would faint again. That's right, the god of death had consumed a great part of his vitality. For the moment, we should look for a safe place to protect ourselves. I have an idea. We could go to my palace. No, it's a terrible idea. If those guys finish with Kakarot, the first places they'll visit will be the palaces of the kings of everything. We'll be easy prey. We could go with my brother Daishenkin. He's in an inhospitable planet of the 18 universes. I think that's a great idea. We must recover as fast as possible to be able to help Kakarot. I swear that your sacrifice will not be in vain. Bardock would grab Ryoma by the neck, furious.
My Kakarot is not dead yet. I'm sure he'll come out alive.
Returning to the battlefield, the two opponents would stand in front of Kakarot.
Because of you, we have lost Ryoma, the king of the most powerful everything. For that simple reason, you will die here, because the Yes-Bear, the second most powerful god of death. I don't care who the hell you are. If you mess with one of my loved ones, you'll regret it. Kakarot, no matter who this guy is, he would go after him with maximum speed. Both guys did not take their eyes off each other. That's right, the power Kakarot had obtained with the help of the Source of the Demons in the place of Akio had helped him a lot with this great battle. Both guys were exchanging blows while the other guy was known as the Destroyer was only watching how the battle was going.
Chasing out those insects for now is in vain, since they're moving at an incredible speed. They even seem to teleport, so we just have to play with this guy.
Kakarot and Yes-Bear would continue fighting. Both were very evenly matched. However, Goku, having the blood of a Super Saiyan Goddess Destroyer, his body regenerated from every damage, and having the Saiyan cells, the Zenkais he was getting were becoming brutal. So much so that he was even starting to have a little advantage over Yes-Bear.
This guy's awesome. No matter how much I attack him, his battle level increases instead of decreasing.
Yes-Bear, when distracted a little, would be hit by a big blow from Kakarot, who after millions of years had felt a pain worse than death. The Destroyer, realizing this, was going to intervene. However, in his mind, he would hear the voice of the negative creator god, or better known as the killer god.
Do not help him. If he is not capable of ending the life of this simple mortal, he does not deserve to possess the beings of the murderer god.
The Destroyer would obey what his master told him. Meanwhile, on the planet where Daishenkin was taking refuge, all the people present would arrive for Mikoshin's help. When Daishenkin observed his brother Tsuyokomi, he would be very surprised, as he didn't feel any evil ki flowing from him.
Brother, after so long, is that you?
That's right, little Dai. It's me.
Daishenkin at that moment would give a little smile, in meaning that he was happy because his brother had returned, but at that moment he observed the king of the most powerful everything mortally wounded. That's right, Daishenkin would be very surprised to realize that a being like him had been wounded in such a way. Great priest, is there any medicine of great power in this universe?
No, Naomi-sama. This is the weakest multiverse of all. We do not possess valuable objects or high-level sealing.
With my blood, I'm sure I can recover quickly. What the hell are you saying? How is the king of the most powerful everything supposed to drink the blood of a simple goddess? Don't worry, Naomi. She is Kakarot's mother as far as I can tell. If Kakarot possessed such regeneration, it must be because of his mother. Serious, in a vase that the great priest would have given him, he put a great part of his blood. The moment that the powerful Ryoma would drink it, his wound would close immediately. That's right, at that moment, lightning, fireballs, and even tremors began to fall over the place. The blood of Sirius not only had healed the wounds of Ryoma's body, it had also awakened a new power, which Ryoma had dormant. At the moment that all the roar calmed down, it would be observed that Ryoma, which had not changed anything physically, but his power at this moment was overwhelming.
Thank you very much. With this power, I'm sure I can save Kakarot.
Let me help you. My son is giving all his in the battlefield, and I don't want to leave him alone.
I know how you must feel, but don't be distressed. I'll see to it that Kakarot returns safe and sound. In fact, we both will. This battle has been won, but the war has just begun.
Ryoma, with his ghostly steps, began to run around the universe. That's right, the steps that Ryoma took through space-time even surpassed the flight speed of a priest or guardian angel. Meanwhile, with Kakarot, he was dominating the battle completely. That's right, however, at that moment, Yes-Bear would give a big laugh.
Ha 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 ha! Miserable mortal. Your power is amazing, but I still have an ace up my sleeve, and which will be able to give me the victory in this battle.
Jesper at that moment would begin to transform, increasing his size a few times. A strong explosion would even make Kakarot go back a little. He didn't expect that sudden increase in power. When all the smoke of the explosion ended, a big dragon would be seen. Kakarot would be a little surprised, but he'd say to himself, "With that big size, it must be slow, so I'll finish with it quickly. My power's about to fade. I can't do anything. Dying is not an alternative." Kakarot would quickly throw himself towards the giant dragon, giving it a shrapnel of fists. However, the skin of that beast was as hard as diamond.
Don't think that because of my size I'm slow or I don't have stamina. My stamina was multiplied 100 times more than my speed. Well, find out for yourself.
Jesper at that moment would be able to give a great blow to Kakarot, which would make him spit blood. Kakarot would fall to a very close planet, but the power would be so much that even made him crawl through some mountains that were in his path. Kakarot would stand up quickly, but the blow from before had left him very badly injured. He even observed his enemy blurred. Damn, his speed and physical strength increased in an unreal way. After all, it seems that my death will be in this place.
Well. Apparently that guy doesn't have enough power to face Jesper. This battle ends here.
Jesper would begin to charge a great sphere of destruction, with which he had planned to finish the life of Kakarot. Kakarot, without staying behind, would begin to charge a powerful sphere of energy in the same way. At the moment both attacks collided with each other, they began to destroy a few planets that remained around them. However, it would be observed that Jesper had total advantage. Damn it! This bastard's going to end my life!
Of course not. That won't happen as long as I, the mighty Ryoma, am alive.
At that moment, Ryoma would give a thunder of his fingers, making both attacks disappear, leaving everyone surprised since no one noticed his arrival.
How the hell was he able to save that guy without me noticing his arrival? This is impressive. After all, he must call himself the king of the most powerful everything.
Damn you! How dare you get in my hunt? I swear I'll kill you.
Jesper would start moving towards Ryoma at a great speed, but Ryoma at a much more surprising speed was able to give him a great blow, which would leave him out of combat.
You're no match for me, so you'd better resign yourself.
The destroyer at that moment was going to pounce against Ryoma. However, Ryoma at that moment would create a large sphere of energy, which at the time of exploding would make everyone present to be without any vision for about 3 minutes, in which Ryoma had enough time to escape along with Kakarot, which had been out of combat and returned to its base state. Meanwhile, with the others, everyone had realized that the clash of their fists and energies had ended. Ryoma, did I make it in time?
I don't know, dear, but the only thing we could do is to trust him.
At that moment, Ryoma would appear in front of everyone with the body of Kakarot. Cirrus would observe him in that condition and would be very surprised since even she, with her regeneration, would have died with the first clash of those fists.
I proudly say that after all, my son is a legendary Saiyan of the legend. Or rather, my son is Kakarot, the Super Saiyan Infinity.
Everyone began to treat Kakarot, who was on the verge of death, even their hearts were not pumping blood properly. Without anyone noticing, Akio would stand up and go towards him, releasing a surprising power.
Great Kakarot, because of me, you're in this state. I'll give my life for you.
Akio, at the moment of releasing his power to the maximum, would begin to direct it all towards Kakarot. At that moment that Mikoshin realized this, he would call everyone, especially Ryoma and Naomi, which were the most powerful of that place. Ryoma was observing what Akio was doing, would stand next to him, and in the same way begin to send a great part of his ki to the body of Kakarot. Akio, after 1500 years, will not see again without hatred and grudges. I'll not let you die. I'll help you so that Kakarot recovers. You must not do it alone.
Ryoma, I'm really sorry, it wasn't me. A damned god of death took over me, and after losing with you in that training battle.
I know, Akio. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I always knew it wasn't you. A great golden energy began to run through the whole body of Kakarot. That's right, Kakarot's body was accepting all the power that both were transmitting. At that moment, Bardock would transform into the Super Saiyan God Killer, and in the same way would begin to transmit a part of his energy. Meanwhile, in the battlefield, the Destroyer had taken Jesper, leaving the place where they can regroup.
It's not the Ryoma we knew about. His power, speed, and resistance all increased in an amazing way. What did he do in that short period of time?
Returning to everyone, Kakarot's body had been filled with all the energy of the three beings that had transmitted to them. Kakarot's body was stable. The only thing he needed now was to rest.
With Kakarot and Bardock, I'm sure that we'll finally finish the God Killer, so be prepared.
Kakarot at that moment would give a loud scream and begin to raise his power in an uncontrolled way. Kakarot was releasing an impressive power. So much was his power that even the Destroyer was able to feel all this bestial power.
This king is of that Saiyan. But what happened with Ryoma is happening in a matter of a few hours. He increased his power in an unbridled way.
The Destroyer would go to one of the minor universes of that multiverse. That's right, the Destroyer wanted to know what was happening in the multiverse and how those two great warriors increased even more their level. Meanwhile, the whole universe would continue shaking. That's right, the power of Kakarot would be so much that not only that multiverse was being affected, all the multiverses were in absolute chaos. In a very distant place, the pressure of that power had been felt by a particular subject.
Well, who is the being emitting all that power? It has interrupted my dream.
At that moment, a being of human appearance would stand up. However, at that moment of doing so, everyone around him would begin to tremble in an impressive way. That's right, the power of this being was giving off was 1,000 times more than that of the power of Kakarot. However, before his ki is perceived by others, he would quickly diminish it.
I'll wait for the owner of that power to come to me, and then I'll annihilate him.
Returning to Kakarot and the others, Kakarot had accessed even the Super Saiyan Infinity. That's right, Kakarot had released so much power that he had accessed his most powerful transformation.
Is that all of Kakarot's power? His power doesn't compare to what he fought with me. Was he holding back?
No, of course not. Kakarot's power is in this last battle increased too much. Kakarot would again return to his base state and fall unconscious. This is very strange. Kakarot-sama's power seems to be from another dimension.
The gods of death must have already felt our ki. We better leave this place.
The king of everything Akio's absolutely right. It's better to move away as far as we can until we're all able to fight, because we will need Kakarot's help.
Naomi's right. It'll be better to leave this place.
They all started to leave that place to a much safer place, but what nobody knew was that the place where they were going, there's a being that even the gods of death and the negative creator god avoid facing. After a few days of travel in which they all believed that they were far away from the universe where they were, they all took refuge in an inhospitable planet, in which they began to train to increase their powers in a better way. Meanwhile, a being was watching them from afar. So much was his power that no being in that place was allowed to be able to see it.
Apparently, one of the subjects of that place is responsible for the power that was felt a few months ago.
Jamura would continue observing them for approximately 2 months, in which the Saiyan Kakarot was still out of combat for the brutal battle he had. Meanwhile, with Jesper and the Destroyer, both were looking for all the warriors, especially Ryoma, since for the seal of the god assassin to weaken in its majority, they had to finish with Ryoma's life, or leave him out of combat for approximately 2 months and what the seal takes to undo.
Damn it, Ryoma! I swear I'll return the blow you gave me. I promise on my life that the next time I see you, I'll end your existence myself.
I think that'll be impossible for you. The speed with which Ryoma arrived to the battlefield was so fast that it even surpassed my perception.
Jesper would swallow all his pride, knowing that the only one who could face him a little would be the Destroyer, the first god of death. Meanwhile, with Jamura, he had observed them for 2 months and a week, in which he had decided to appear before all the warriors. In that moment, the whole planet began to suffer great damage. It seemed that the god had arrived, since the pressure felt was of another level.
Now what is happening? A new enemy?
At that moment, they all observed how a being was walking towards them. That's right, it was Jamura, who was very confident of his power. "Stop, and tell us who you are!" Jamura would stop, however, he wouldn't answer Mikoshin's question.
Damn you! My sister asked you who you are. Do you want to die?
Do you have enough power to at least make me bleed a little? Tsuyokomi, annoyed by what Jamura said, quickly rushed against the guy. However, Tsuyokomi had been paralyzed just by looking at that guy in the eyes.
I only used 3% of my visual power, and you're thinking of ending my life? You poor worm.
Jamura would continue walking towards all the others. At that moment, they all launched into the attack, however, everything seemed slower than normal. That's right, Jamura's visual power will not allow them to move freely. Akio, Bardock, what we've been training for the past few months.
Of course we have.
Divine Resonance, Supreme Saiyan King. 3 beings had executed a union technique, but it was far superior to a fusion due to the fact that the 3 multiplied 100 times their powers. No power stayed in one body. The 3 warriors were able to get rid of Jamura's visual power, being able to direct a blow with all their power. However, Jamura would dodge the 3 blows with an extreme elegance. That's right, Jamura seemed that he had not moved from the same place. Bardock, Akio, and Ryoma, annoyed, began with their attack, being completely in vain. Since each of them was dodged, Bardock would take distance and support them with large spheres of energy so that he would not be able to have a free point.
So they think that if they corner me, they'll be able to do something to me. Well, I'll play their game.
Jamura would begin to fight with both subjects, while dodging the energy spheres of Bardock with an impressive precision. At that moment, Jamura was able to grant a great blow to Akio, which, despite being with his defense to the maximum, was not able to block a sneaky blow which made him crash into a planet, causing a great havoc. In the seconds that Akio had fallen to the planet and was recovering, Jamura would take the opportunity to give a flurry of blows to the most powerful being in the multiverse. That's right, Jamura was giving the beating of his life to Ryoma. At that moment, Mikoshin, Towa, Daishenkin, and Naomi rushed against that subject. However, not having the overwhelming power that the 3 subjects possessed, Jamura, only with the pressure of his ki, had left them out of combat.
Well, if there are any insects in this place, no one's worthy of my power.
At that moment, Ryoma, Akio, and Bardock would once again face that guy. That's right, the trio of warriors would not give up.
For the pride of the emblematic Saiyan race, I swear to exterminate you and put an end to your reign.
I want to see if you could do it, Simple Saiyans. Jamura would raise his power to 15%, leaving everyone surprised, who believed that this guy was already fighting seriously. After about 5 minutes of battle, the 3 most powerful warriors of that place had fallen at the hands of Jamura.
You're not worth it. I mistook you for someone else. But don't get in the way in this universe. I'm doing you a favor. I'll annihilate you without feeling any pain.
Jamura had charged a great sphere of energy in a matter of seconds, throwing it to the planet where no warrior was able to do anything before that great power. However, in the same instant, a power would shake the entire universe again.
That's the key that I felt 3 months ago. Where is it?
At that moment, Jamura was very confused, not knowing where the power came from. At that moment, all his great energy had disappeared, or rather Kakarot, at a supreme speed, had been able to reduce and control it only in the palm of his hand. At that moment, Kakarot would destroy all the energy of that subject. Who the hell are you? How were you able to stop my attack? Flashback. Cirrus was with Kakarot, who hadn't reacted in about 3 months. My son, please! My little Kakarot, save us one more time! We trust you! We're not able to do anything against that guy! Help us! Kakarot at that moment would open his eyes, passing directly to the Ultra Instinct maximum power. But something to differentiate was the power he had obtained now, since his power did not compare with the power he possessed 3 months ago. Kakarot at an incredible speed would stand in front of that great attack and would say to himself, "Don't worry about me. As long as I live, as long as this body has energy, I'll never let anything happen to you! And a flashback. Jamura would be very surprised to realize that that guy had destroyed all his energy with 2 simple fingers. Who the hell are you? Where did you come from? You don't care about that. The only thing you should know is that I'll finish you off. Kakarot and Ultra Instinct Maximum Power would be launched against that subject. That's right, the power he had obtained from the demonic source had not been lost, only had been purified. Now, part of the body of Kakarot at a flashing speed would begin to exchange blows with that subject. Jamura, to block one of his blows, would notice that his arms were trembling due to the power that Kakarot exerted. There had never been a being other than the murderer god that forced me to use more than 15% of my power. Jamura at that moment would increase his power to 25%, believing that it was enough. However, Kakarot would show him the opposite. That's right, Kakarot exceeded even 25% of Jamura's power, leaving him surprised. Kakarot would not allow Jamura to raise his power much more, giving him a beating. Jamura would create an explosion, being able to move Kakarot away from him. Jamura at that moment would increase his power to 45% of all his power, with which he would be able to put in trouble the powerful Kakarot. Meanwhile, with Ryoma, Akio, and Bardock, the 3 subjects were watching the battle very surprised.
My son's really surpassed the gods by becoming an extremely powerful being. I can't believe it. I can't believe that before I surpassed his power. I'm so proud of Kakarot.
Everyone would continue to watch the battle, in which Jamura would take himself much more seriously, releasing 60% of all his power, being able to knock out Kakarot's Saiyan. That's right, but something that Jamura did not know was that Kakarot had not used the Super Saiyan Infinity. Jamura would take Kakarot and take him to all his relatives. I'm very sorry for trying to kill you. The being that protects you is very impressive, being that has earned all my respect. I introduce myself. My name is Jamura. At that moment, Ryoma would step forward.
I don't know why you wanted to kill us, but we excuse you because at this very moment you could kill us. My name is Ryoma, and I'm the king of the most powerful everything.
So, the king of the most powerful everything. From what I understand, the gods of death are looking for your head for the rebirth of the negative creator god.
I can see that you're aware of everything.
That's right. Become more powerful. Soon, I'll come for you. Jamura in a flash would leave at a great speed.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.